Hello, everyone, and welcome to Thoughts, Feelings, Emotions, and all the other crap that people experience. I am your host, Daniel Frankham, joined by our illustrious guest of the day,
Dan Weller.
Jesus Christ, that's
I was all good. I didn't expect that to happen.
How do you not expect that to happen?
It's a weird way of introducing me.
What?
When you go this from the start.
Whatever. Let's just get into the first segment of today. Why does this exist, Dan? Why does this exist?
So we're starting off with the Amazon Ring flying security drone that follows you around the house.
Yeah.
Which is a very bizarre contraption. So the idea of it is there'd be another sensor somewhere, and it will detect when someone enters the house, and then it will send a notification to the user's phone, and then the user will be able to control the camera from the phone and also fly around the house.
And also it can do preset routes, so you don't have to fly it. It will just fly automatically.
Yeah, which is really creepy because
you
could just...
incredibly cool.
It's really cool and also pointless because a burglar could just smack it down.
Yeah, but it's also recording at the same time, so...
Yeah, but how many burglars don't cover their face? If they're going to go in your house and nick something, most of them cover their face. If they don't, they're idiots. And they deserve to be caught.
True. But I think this is, from at least a standpoint from Amazon's view, it's basically a 200 and something pound or dollar.
It's $250, £192.
Yeah, but it's doing the job of all the cameras that you would slap in your house. So every room in your house, you don't have to put a camera in. You can just have this one camera that flies around and does everything for you.
I mean, that is true. It is only available in the US for now.
Yeah, that's a lot of things, sadly.
And there's a lot of privacy concerns about this, because you could just put one in someone's house and then just fly around the house. And because it's streaming to your phone constantly. So you can just get whatever you need and then go. And then they will have no idea where it come from.
I mean, yeah.
If someone could hack into that, that's a lot of...
But I mean...
think about it, it's like a whole house.
I mean, currently there are drones that people already own. I, for instance, already own a drone, but mine's quite big and you could see it. But still, I can just go around flying, and if I wanted to, I could fly it over into someone's garden, smash through a window if I wanted to, and fly a shitty drone into their building. So it's already a concern. But
well, Ring is like a very big company in the security market. They own 28% of the market share for smart doorbells, which is the largest, more than any other company.
Well, yeah, because it's owned by Amazon.
Yeah, well, the next biggest one's Nest, which is by Google, which is 11.5%. And then it's Xiaomi, and then follows on after that.
Right.
But yeah, it's just very disturbing now.
Yeah, it is it's certainly an interesting thing to debut, because I generally am curious, because it is cool.
It's just the design of it. The design's really weird.
I like
it's a square box with a stick at the bottom of it. And it just flies about everywhere. And of course, it's got a charging dock as well.
Yeah.
So when you're not using it, it'll go back into its dock, charge up again.
Yeah. So that's basically the point. It's meant to be as discreet as possible. And then this tiny little thing that's just got basically the wings and the fans and shit, or whatever it is. And then
you're just a little burglar.
Just the camera that streams. So
yeah, your burglar just walks in, actually a box, and you just walk past it, and then you turn around, and drone's just following you everywhere.
Yeah, but I mean, it's basically just so, because a lot of the time you just don't know that you've got anything, and it's also you're limited to the room that you have a camera in. Because I have a camera in my room, but if someone broke into the other rooms of this house and never entered this one, you wouldn't know. So.
I think one of the most funny things was the trailer for it. And for the trailer, they had a burglar enter in the house, and then the drone popped up, and then the guy just ran away from it. Yeah. The burglar's not doing that.
I guarantee you, though, people will add modifications to it if they could.
Yeah.
Where they, like, if it's in America and you could get it so that it had a little grabber claw or something and could pick up a gun, people would make it so it would pick up a gun. It's
only a matter of time until it's on Pornhub, let's be honest.
Wait, what?
Well, I just want just flying a drone on someone's house.
Did you say on Pornhub?
Yeah, I just start recording it to that. I can see it happening.
Okay.
Can you not see it happening?
No,
the world
I can see it that someone tries to bring like an affair or something home, and then the drone picks up and...
yeah. Maybe Pornhub still. Never know.
I mean, I don't think
it's spiteful.
Yes.
I reckon it's
not
going to happen.
I was expecting it to go, to be totally honest. Should we move on to the next?
The other interesting topic for why does this exist is the new Google feature of hold for me. So the idea of it, you'll be put on hold by some other random company, and instead of listening to lobby music, Google will automatically detect that you've been put on hold, and it will notify you when you're no longer on hold.
Yeah, I like that. I don't know how many people would use it, but
I can see the application for it. I mean, it is very annoying just to have to wait all the time. I think you still have to have your phone next to you.
I think
the only thing is you don't want to have that music.
I think if you have their Nests and their home bundle things, you can get the home thing to actually tell you that you're off hold. So if you're in another room and you don't have your phone, but you're in the room with your home device, it will notify you that way as well.
It'd be useful, but it's still a bit of a weird thing to exist.
Yeah, but I think it's also so that you can close down the window and on your phone and actually just do other things on your phone at that time rather than having to have it open all the time or put yourself on speaker so that you just have the background music that's annoying as hell.
Yeah, with the terrible speakers of a smartphone. It makes it sound even worse.
Depends on the smartphone.
I suppose actually it's more to do with the compression rate in it, of course.
Well, it's just they have shitty music most of the time. That's why. Most of the time it's just shitty music.
Yeah. Anyway, on to the next section, headliners. So this is the section where we're going to discuss just the weekly headlines generically. And the first one is the Minecraft is joining Super Smash Bros. On Nintendo.
Yes.
So Minecraft has now got a partnership with Nintendo, and they're adding in 4 characters to Super Smash Bros., being Steve, Alex, which are the 2 character models, and then a zombie and an Enderman they can play as.
Yep.
One of the most interesting things I saw in the trailer, though, was the Enderman was the same height as everything else, which in the actual Zombies game, like Enderman's like really tall, so it was really strange to view what was happening.
Yeah.
But each of the characters will have their own special abilities. Like Steve can put down a massive piston that just pushes everything off the map, and there's also Minecraft-themed maps that are all coming into Super Smash Bros. As well.
Yeah, I always thought this was going to be inevitable, that Minecraft would inevitably just go into Super Smash Bros. I didn't think it would look well. I mean, I don't have any interest in this, to be honest, because I'm not a Nintendo person and I'm not a Minecraft person. But I guess for both of those groups of people, this is quite a good thing.
I think it's kind of a big, unexpected thing. I didn't expect it to happen. It's very strange that it just happened. I think about it.
Well, Microsoft's...
Minecraft is all owned by Microsoft.
Yeah.
So it's kind of odd for it to be into Super Smash Bros., which is a Nintendo company, on their rivals.
No.
They could have instead put Minecraft into something a bit more that Microsoft owns.
Nah, because I think this is... Because Super Smash Bros. Has got loads of other people's properties in it. It's got Pac-Man, it's got Sonic and stuff, there's a bunch of stuff. There's like Solid Snake, which is like mainly known as a PlayStation game. There's the Soul Calibur games. There's all of these other ones. Like Super Smash Bros. Does have a tendency to bring in like the characters from Undertale. Like Sans is a skin, I think, in the game. There's a bunch of characters and stuff that you wouldn't think would be in it, but are in it. That aren't owned by Nintendo outright, but they do have, now and again, they do allow other companies to put their things in.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of want to play it. I don't know why. I'm not even a big Minecraft fan, but for some reason, I really want to play it.
They're all right. When I had a Wii, the Super Smash Bros. Game on that was quite fun. But I wouldn't go out and buy a Nintendo Switch just to play a Minecraft game. Minecraft character in it, to be honest.
So apparently the chief creative officer has quoted, bringing Minecraft to Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is a result of an amazing collaboration with Nintendo. As fans of the series and avid players of our studios, we couldn't be more excited to see Minecraft join Smash already legendary lineup of characters.
But the most important thing, Dan, that we're forgetting is no Waluigi. They still haven't put Waluigi in a Super Smash Bros. Game. Except as a trophy.
That's so sad.
And the internet will riot. They put a piranha plant in Super Smash Bros, but they haven't put Waluigi.
Like the week before the game ends. Oh, who had it now?
No, they'll just never put him in. I just don't know. For some odd reason, Waluigi has this massive fan following.
Random, innit?
Yeah.
So carrying on. So topic of games. The Spider-Man remaster has got a lot of news this week.
See, what did you think of that? Because what do you think of the new face design?
I don't understand. How have they done that?
Well,
I read somewhere that they wanted it more to look like Tom Holland, but it doesn't.
No, they don't. They didn't want it to look like Tom Holland. They basically, I think, from what I read, they changed the design so that it better facial captured the guy whose voice it is. Because the voice actor isn't the person whose face they modeled it off of. So they got someone who looked similar to the voice, the actual animation, the like face tracking and everything suited the voice better from what I was reading. So they got a different person.
Publish an update. I think I publish an update to the original game, so it changes the model of that one.
I don't know if it's only the remaster one though.
Because if it's only the remaster and the original's going to stay the same, I think it's even more weird.
Yeah.
You've just had like. It looks at two different characters. He also looks younger. So in the original Spider-Man game, Peter Parker is actually quite old. I think he's like 20. He's in his 20s. When the normal Spider-Man in the comics is in his teens in high school. But this Peter Parker's got an internship with Dr. Octopus. I can't remember his actual normal name. I think it's Dr. Octopus, isn't it? Or Dr. Ock, whatever it is.
Dr. Octavius.
Yeah, Dr. Octavius, that's it. Yeah, so he's got an internship with him and he's working for him and then...
Otto Octavius. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to remember what the name was.
It's a cool game, don't get me wrong, but I don't understand how he can look younger. Like, in that remaster, he looks like 19 years old.
I don't know. I don't hate the new face, but I also didn't love the original face, to be honest. I always thought the original face looked too Uncanny Valley to me.
Yeah.
Whereas this new one looks still Uncanny Valley, but looks like an actual sort of face to me, to be honest. I'm just going to get the picture up on my screen so I can just remember what it looks like.
I think the other thing to note is that the shadowing looks a lot better on the remaster.
Oh, yeah, and because it's got all of the ray tracing and everything as well. So
it's like a sign to come in it. And the other sort of topic of the remaster is the upgrade bundles.
They changed his hair as well.
So the normal upgrade, if you have the original game, you have to pay £20 to upgrade it to the PS5. But if you buy the Spider-Man 2 Miles Morales game, by the Ultimate Edition, you get the original one for free.
Yeah.
Which is a bit of a con, really.
I don't know. I think if you already bought it, I think it's kind of a shitty thing to do. But I haven't bought it, so it's not a problem for me.
The only thing is, if there's a remaster and they've redone the textures in the whole game and they put ray tracing into the whole game, then I can understand it. Because that does take a lot of work and a lot of effort, so I can justify that.
Yeah.
But for the most part, they haven't, and they've just put the exact same game into the PS5. Then you shouldn't.
They have got ray tracing and shit. The new.
Well, yeah, because I think you can tell in the face. At least I hope that's ray tracing. I haven't read anything about them putting ray tracing in the game.
No, they do have ray tracing. There's I'm pretty sure they have ray tracing in it because I think Spider-Man Miles Morales has ray tracing in it, and I think they originally wanted the PS4 version to have ray tracing, but the PS4 couldn't do it. So,
PS4's never going to be able to do ray tracing.
Well, it would do it poorly. It would break the game a lot, but...
Well, the hardware in that's like 7 years old. It's only the new graphics cards can do it.
Well, you could potentially almost do it with a PS4 Pro.
You'd probably get about 10 frames per second.
Yeah, which is why the new one, I'm pretty sure they're putting ray tracing in. Let me just find out.
Yeah.
According to Digital Foundry, ray tracing analysis. So, yeah, I don't know if it's full ray tracing, but they do have ray tracing in the remaster version.
Right. So are they not just porting over the original copy then? Can you not just play the original on PS5?
Sony's been really weird about it. So I think if you wanted to, you could put in the disc, but I don't think you'd get any of the benefits of a PlayStation 5, is what I
think it's not getting the benefits, but you call these PS4 games on digital or disc, and buying the PS5, ideally you want to get rid of your PS4. You can maybe get a few quid for that or whatever from Sex or wherever you want to get it from.
CEM,
but,
not Sex.
Yeah, well, I don't know if that's fair. But things you want to put all those games onto your PS5 so you can get rid of it. To sort of forget about it. That's the idea behind having this, bring these games onto the new gen. Most people don't want to bring games onto the new gen for it to look better. It's to actually just get rid of the last console. So you don't need to have two consoles. Like, you get rid of the effort of having to switch between consoles.
Yeah, I mean...
So to say you can't have the original and you've got to buy the remaster is a bit of a shitty thing to do, really.
Yeah, but I think people would just buy the Spider-Man bundle, the Miles Morales bundle anyway, and then just not have to pay. Because if you don't buy the bundle, then what's the point, really? And you can just sell your game for money anyway.
Well, unless you want digital, you can't sell it.
Well, I don't know, to be honest. But
yeah. Well, other game news. The new Zombies trailer just released.
Yep.
And it looks like a complete overhaul of the game mode, which I think is brilliant. So I know you don't normally play zombies.
Nope.
Anything about it?
I don't know much or anything about zombies. I don't tend to play. I stopped playing after basically World War.
The very beginning.
Yep.
Would you mean World at War, World War Two?
Just the first one.
World at War. So they made a big list of sort of new changes that they've added to it. So it's now got cross-play, cross-gen, cross-progression, battle pass progression, upgradable perks, gunsmith loadouts, weapon rarities, field upgrades, support weapons, optional exfil, intel tracking, and free post-launch content, which means all maps are going to be free afterwards, which I think is brilliant. And on top of that, they've got rid of the perk limit. So previously, you had a perk limit of 4 perks, and you had to choose. However, Treyarch noticed that pretty much everyone always buys the same 4 perks, which being most time the original ones of Juggernog, Speed Cola, and Double Tap, and then the 4th one was usually optional. So in Black Ops 4, they actually got rid of those 3 perks, so people would get to start changing up a little bit, so they can get different combinations. But then that caused massive outcry in the zombies community.
I was going to say, what's the difference from this one? Like, in terms of all of those things that you just stated, what are the differences between the last zombies?
Yeah, so Black Ops 4, they removed, like I said, the big 3 perks of Juggernog, Double Tap, and Speed Cola, and they sort of add them in different ways. So, yeah, start off with 4 hits of health instead of 3. If you pack a punch your gun 4 times, it would increase the damage by 100%. So you get double tap that way. And if you had all 4 perks, you'd reload faster. So that was the idea behind it. But all the other perks were kind of useless.
Yeah.
And the fact is, you still only had 4 perks. And it kind of lost a nostalgic feel to it. It didn't feel like Treyarch Zombies anymore.
Yeah. I was just more or less talking about what are the new features like? Was the last COD zombies actually cross-gen or was not cross-gen?
No,
cross-play or platform?
So zombies has usually you can level up, but it has its own level progression system for XP. But it also meant it was really slow to level up zombies, but really fast to level up multiplayer. And the other thing is the battle pass mainly. Originally, you could only earn battle pass progression through multiplayer, and not through zombies. And later on in the zombies' lifetime, they said if you played a zombie game a day, then you would get a battle pass tier skip, which is okay, but for a big zombies community, it really gets rid of all the incentive to play zombies.
Did you have to pay for the DLC, the new maps and stuff on the last one?
Yes.
Oh, didn't know that.
They had the Black Ops pass. So they didn't have any DLC packs. You had to buy a pass which contained everything in it, and then everything was released staggered. But there was not a single DLC pack, as it were.
Ah, okay.
You had a multiplayer pack and a zombie map.
Right, okay.
Sort of differently. So this time, they're following the Modern Warfare structure and just get rid of all DLC completely. And they're going to try to survive on the Battle Pass. One of the other things in this zombies game mode is your characters you play as is the operators for multiplayer. So normal path zombies.
I hate operators. I just hate COD having operators. I just don't care.
Well, the new form of operators is different to Black Ops 3 and Black Ops 4. The operators is just a skin, nothing else. Doesn't add anything else to it.
Okay, that's what I hate. I hate having to pick a certain character in a game that gives me certain benefits.
So in this one, it's different. It's completely different. It's just what it looks like.
Okay, that's better then. I'm fine with that. Shall we move on to the next one?
Yeah. Next topic, you mean?
Yeah.
So let's move to movies now. The new Borat trailer just dropped.
Yeah, a big fan.
I've not seen the first one.
The first one's good. It was a very big movie, and this, because of how big it is, the new Borat trailer is basically Borat goes back to America, but because of how famous the actual movie made Borat, he has to go and disguise himself. So Dan, do you want to point out some of the things that happened in that trailer?
I think, for me, the most interesting thing was the relation to this year, of it being coronavirus and everything.
Oh, well, it was filmed during it all.
Yeah, and they got quarantined, and they just started smacking the walls, trying to kill the virus.
Yeah.
It's kind of insane.
But yeah, 14 years since the first one.
It's the joke where he said, have you ever put a baby in your daughter? No.
Yeah, I think his daughter's going to have a lot to play in it because, it
does seem like it. It seems like it's sort of the main thread of the story.
Well, I think it's because he's too famous for people to people recognize Borat if you go to America, and people recognize it because of just how big the film was. So that's why he's going into disguise, and so that he can basically do all of the crazy antics that he did in the first film and get people to say ridiculous shit that they wouldn't. Because the first film is basically he goes to America and gets gets Americans to say some heinous stuff about like things that they wouldn't normally say, but because you're just pursued by this dude who's just so charismatic and gets you to say anything that you wouldn't normally say. So I think that his daughter is just going to be him, and he's going to be his daughter's like weird like dad or uncle thing that just gets people to say shit that they wouldn't normally say. And it looks quite good, I think, when it comes out. And it's not that long.
I want to watch it.
It's not that long. Quite close.
No, it's this week, isn't it? Not this week. This month, sorry.
Yeah, this month. But yeah, I think depending, because Sacha Baron Cohen is quite good at what he does. So,
well, following the movie news, Guy Ritchie is going to be directing and writing the Gentleman TV show.
Yep, a movie that came out at the beginning of the year, and I watched twice in cinemas before cinemas closed, and it's a really good movie for me, at least. And I'm sad that it happened to come out like at the beginning, so that it kind of missed all of this, but it didn't do ultimately that great. But it's now on Amazon Prime, so if anyone's got Amazon Prime, please go and watch it, because it's a really good film. If you like gangsters and suave characters and just interesting stories and topics about weed and all of this and like drug trades, and it's all very interesting stuff.
Yeah. I put it on my watch list, so I haven't watched it yet, but I will do eventually.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's because the movie ends quite openly, but I don't know if it's continuation of the story or it's the story but made for television is the thing that I could figure out. Yeah.
So it's going to be a similar story then, or the same?
Well, it's either going to be the story that the movie tells, but over the course of the TV series. So maybe a bit longer with more intricacies, maybe a different cast and stuff, or it's a continuation of the movie but with new characters and stuff, or even the existing characters, because that movie is stacked with good cast. It's got Colin Farrell, Matthew McConaughey,
Colin Farrell, Charlie Hunnam.
Yeah, Charlie Hunnam, isn't it?
Henry Golding, and Hugh Grant.
Yeah, that's who I was thinking of. Hugh Grant, not Colin Farrell.
The other one.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently it grossed over $115 million.
Yeah.
Which isn't a lot.
Is that just in America, though?
Possibly, but it could also be due to the pandemic.
See, it came out it came out in January, so.
It was 115 million worldwide.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that.
But it's probably, like I said, it came out, released in January 2020, then pandemic happened.
Yeah, basically came out just before all the pandemic shit hit. So, yeah, it was out for a while, but it probably just got tanked a bit because of that.
Unfortunate, really, isn't it?
But it's a really good movie. I think my mate said that it was similar to Snatch, so if anyone's watched Snatch, then, which is another Guy Ritchie film, because Guy Ritchie's one of my favourite directors, just because he did the Sherlock Holmes movies with Robert Downey Jr., and he did the Man from U.N.C.L.E., which I quite enjoyed as well. And even that King Arthur Legend of the Sword thing that he did with Charlie Hunnam wasn't as terrible as everyone said it was. So I quite enjoyed it.
On Rotten Tomatoes, it had a score of 75% from critics and 84% from audience.
Oh, Rotten Tomatoes is pointless, even if they are good reviews. I
think it's usually a good indication if they're both positive. If the critic one and the audience one is positive, then I would say it's genuinely a good film.
Yeah.
To watch.
But even then, I just don't take Rotten Tomatoes as anything.
No. And IMDb got it at a 7.9 out of 10.
Yeah, it's a pretty solid film.
Yeah, definitely worth watching.
But
I will watch it
another film that I enjoyed that's getting a new movie, thankfully, is Tomb Raider, which is potentially going to start filming in 2021 sometime. That's all we know, really.
Yeah, there's nothing else, really.
Yeah, but I really enjoyed the first Tomb Raider movie. And a lot of people seem to think that because it's a video game movie and video game movies tend to suck, that Tomb Raider suck. But no, I quite enjoyed it. And also, but I'm one of the people who kind of liked the Assassin's Creed movie as well. I never got round to watching Warcraft. I thought Sonic was alright. I tend to like video game movies, but they're just not. They struggle with it because mainly it's, well, you want to be playing it, not watching it, essentially.
Yeah.
But then again, Spider-Man, you could claim as a video game movie if you really wanted, because there's a video game.
Yeah,
Spider-Man.
Technically true, but it's more of a comic movie. It came out as comic first.
Yeah.
Apparently, the original film had middle reviews and it was underperformed.
Everyone expects it to fail because it's a video game movie. But
apparently, it was supposed to start filming this year, but it got delayed to COVID-19.
Yeah, I was worried because I wanted it to get a sequel, because it's basically, if you've ever played the rebooted Tomb Raider, like from 2014, it's basically the first game of that, but just in cinematic form, with a few couple changes made to it, just so it's a bit more streamlined for a movie. But I really enjoyed the rebooted Tomb Raider games. They're like some of my favorite games of the last couple years, and I enjoyed the movie as well. I'm just liking a lot of Tomb Raider stuff that they're doing at the moment. So to have a new Tomb Raider game is quite a nice thing for me.
Yeah. Apparently the film was initially supposed to be released on March 19th, 2021. So apparently the timetable is shifting by a year. So it should come out around March 2022, hopefully, if the pandemic doesn't get worse.
Curious if they'll take, because they took so many heavy cues and like set pieces from the first rebooted Tomb Raider game from 2014. I wonder if they'll do Rise of the Tomb Raider storyline, because that one I enjoyed quite a bit, even though they took out a couple, because they changed a couple, because they got rid of a couple of the characters from the first game and stuff in the movie. I wonder if they'll start adding back characters now that they can expand the universe a bit more. I liked a lot of the characters from the game, but they took away some of them just to streamline it for the movie, because there's like 6 characters that you hang out with throughout the story of the first game, and then in subsequent games they kind of remove most of them because of reasons. I won't spoil it for anyone who hasn't played the games, but you should definitely you should definitely go and play the games, even if just because they're just fun. They're like they're similar to the Uncharted games if people have played the Uncharted games, but they're a bit more my taste than the Uncharted games, because I tried to play the Uncharted games and I've worked my way through and I enjoy the Uncharted games, but I've completed all of the Tomb Raider games. I've 100%ed the Rise of Tomb Raider. I got very, very close to completing the first Tomb Raider game. And the third one I enjoyed quite a bit, but I just lost time to be able to finish the Tomb Raider. But I think they're very good games.
Well, talk about films getting delayed. James Bond has just been delayed again.
Yep, inevitable, which means so many other films. Because Wonder Woman got pushed back to December of this year, and I think that's pushing it dramatically, because I think it's December 25th, Wonder Woman? And
I would be skeptical of that.
I think it is December 25th is the new release date for Wonder Woman.
I think December 25th.
Yeah, I think...
For Christmas?
Yep.
Is it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Let me just double check. Wonder Woman...
A bit mad it's open on Christmas Day.
Release date. December 25th. Wonder Woman 1984 has been delayed again, with the film now set to be released on December 25th, 2020. Yes, that's right, Christmas Day.
That's so weird. Why is it on Christmas Day? Who's opening Christmas Day?
I don't know.
That's such a dumb time to do it.
But yeah, so I think Bond has been delayed now by an entire year, but I think that's also pushed back the Fast and Furious movie, which has now moved its release date so it doesn't have to compete against James Bond, to I think April now. No, June.
Bond is on the 2nd of April.
Yeah, and it's now in range of Black Widow, which is now April 9th, I think Black Widow is.
I think the biggest problem of all this is that it's going to bankrupt cinemas.
Oh yeah, well, cinemas may not survive until 2021, which is quite funny, because 2021 is going to be the biggest year for movies. So,
I mean, unless everything was online, which it could.
Well, they've not had much success, because the earlier reports for Mulan were pretty good, but then it was revealed that they weren't as good as they were stating. Yeah, so I think it's now moved to, going back to Fast and Furious, is now May 7th, which, 2021, from what I can see on this. Quiet Place 2 has been moved to April 23rd, 2021. Top Gun Maverick is on July 2nd, 2021. And yeah, they're pushing back a lot of films just to fit in. But you're going to have so many movies that come out in 2021, and it's going to be a popularity contest, basically. It's just going to be a shit show unless you can go see everything.
There was some rumours, actually, that Henry Cavill was going to replace Daniel Craig.
Yeah, I don't know how much I wouldn't be...
Henry Cavill, American.
No, he's British.
Is he?
Yeah, because he's it's the weird thing in Hollywood where Henry Cavill is British, Christian Bale is Welsh, so they had a Batman and a Superman that were British and Welsh, but were mainly known as the most American superheroes. But yeah,
Henry Cavill was from Jersey.
Yeah, it's a weird thing, but yeah, Henry Cavill is British, which is why he plays Sherlock Holmes in Enola Holmes.
Yeah, I was a bit confused by that, to be honest. I was like, what?
Yeah, he doesn't, because he's just basically a Hollywood boy now at the moment, so he's just got the American. But it's the same thing with Benedict Cumberbatch, British, but plays an American. We're just very good at Americans.
Yeah, so talk about superheroes, talk about that long enough. We've got our next topic, which is the Super News Roundup.
Yeah, more superhero talk.
Basically superheroes, because there's so much talk about it. Let's put it in a section.
Yep.
Start off with She-Hulk has just been cast.
Mm-hmm. As Tatiana Maslany, I think, is who's going to be there. I think I've seen her in, like, one thing, but that's about it. But I know she's in something very famous.
She was an Emmy-winning actress.
Yeah.
And has been cast as She-Hulk.
Yeah, but I'm trying to remember what she's been in that makes me...
She was in BBC's America TV show Orphan Black.
That's it, because that's a Netflix thing that was very popular. But I never watched Orphan is the New Black or whatever it was. But yeah, I think that's where I know her face from. But that's about it, really. Yeah.
How do you think the sort of origin story is going to be for that? Do you reckon they're going to have Mark Ruffalo in there?
He's confirmed, I'm pretty sure, to be in it. Because she's basically his cousin, Bruce Banner's cousin. And then Bruce Banner does a blood transfusion with her. But I think the reason why they're doing it now is because it's Smart Hulk, or whatever it is now in the MCU.
Professor Hulk.
Yeah, Professor Hulk. So there's not going to be the rage side of the blood anymore. So it will be easier to do a blood transfusion and then just get her. Because in the comics, she can switch, but she's permanently stuck as the green lady.
Green She-Hulk.
Yeah, She-Hulk. But she's got the intelligence still and everything. So I'm guessing now that we've got Professor Hulk, we'll just get some sort of variation where she can still... Like, that's the explanation as to why she's permanently She-Hulk all the time, if they go that route. I don't even know if they'll change it so that she can not be... Because I'm not sure how they'll do this, because she's not as tall as the Hulk, but she's taller than an average person. So I don't know if it's just going to be the Hobbit or the Lord of the Rings thing, where they just change the perspective to make it look like she's taller than everyone else. Or they'll just paint her green, basically, and she'll just get shredded. Because I wonder how much CGI they're actually going to apply to the character to make
So Disney have also announced, or Disney Marvel have announced, that there is a Fantastic Four movie coming up, and She-Hulk does actually have some history with Fantastic Four. So might they bring She-Hulk into Fantastic Four film?
I don't think they'd bring She-Hulk into a Fantastic Four film, no. I don't think that's a thing that they do, really. I think, if anything, they'd bring... Well, the sad reality of it was that they'd probably have brought Black Panther into the Fantastic Four movie, because Black Panther's first introduction is through the Fantastic Four. So it would have been a kind of nice way to switch that if they brought the Fantastic Four in through Black Panther. But sadly, we may not get that due to tragic passing of Chadwick Boseman.
Very sad.
Yeah.
I mean... Talk about people getting cast. Ms. Marvel, which is cast as well.
Yep. I wonder if they'll bring Brie Larson in, because with Miss Marvel, she gets some of her powers. Oh, no, wait. I'm thinking of Rogue. No, it's Miss Marvel is a fan of Captain Marvel, I think.
Yeah.
So I guess you could do it that way. I think Rogue's the one who gets all the superpowers, some of the superpowers from Captain Marvel.
Yeah. So the actress is called Iman Vellani. I probably butchered that name.
Yeah, I have no idea who this person is. I'm guessing it's a relatively new person.
Well, she's only 18 years old, which means that she's pretty much just come out of being a child actor.
I mean, I have no problems with it. I have to see a trailer before I start passing judgment or anything on her. I don't know how her acting, but she's got to be somewhat good, because she's been cast in a Marvel thing and they're pretty litigious in how they cast things. But from what I can see, she looks alright to fit the character, and the most important thing is she's probably Muslim.
Well,
I think it's Muslim.
Well, the character is a Muslim character.
Yeah, so...
so the actual character's American-Pakistani origin, and she looks like she fits the character.
I don't have much more to say until they release set photos or bring out a trailer. It's more Marvel, more stuff that Disney can shove down our throats. And
the only thing I would say is the Ms. Marvel character in the Avengers game got a lot of hate.
I saw a lot of love and stuff. I thought people were saying in the Avengers game that she was one of the best parts.
Well, I only saw the reviews after the beta, so that might have changed from the beta to the actual game.
I think a lot of people were just pissed that they had to play as a woman for most.
Yeah, probably the truth of it.
I wouldn't take most of the criticism of that. There are criticisms of that game, but even I have some, and I'm generally one of the people who is more lenient towards it. Like, the game's got very long load times and stuff. It's just a lot of the same areas, really. But it's fun. I think it's just going to continue to evolve if they put the effort in. And it's made by the people who made the Tomb Raider games and the Deus Ex games. So, two developers that I trust quite well to do more with it. I think people are just kind of annoyed that the characters don't look like the Avengers in the movies, but that's a licensing fee issue, and it would cost them way more to pay for Robert Downey Jr.'s likeness than it would to actually cost to make the game.
Yeah.
Or it'd be a very significant portion of the budget. So, tough shit, get over it. It's not that big a deal.
Yeah. Well,
You
on to the
wear a
final.
mask for most of the game.
Onto the final Disney Plus topic. They've just announced a Nick Fury TV show, and it's going to have Samuel L. Jackson as a lead role.
I'm curious about this because I don't know whether or not they'll do de-aging that they did in Captain Marvel, or they'll do flashbacks and have a younger actor play Nick Fury in like previous things, or if they're going to try and have a 70-year-old plus man do action sequences.
I feel like it's going to be a continuation from Spider-Man Far From Home, because at the end of that film, Nick Fury is on a spaceship full of, what's that called? The Green Aliens.
Kree.
No, the Green Aliens.
Yeah, fuck, what are they called?
The shapeshifter ones, whatever they are.
Yeah.
He's on a spaceship full of them, and then it just sort of kind of ends. It's like, what? So they could do a TV show, continue on with that story, because there seems to be there's something happening there.
Yeah.
But I think it's cool. I think Nick Fury is actually one of my favourite characters in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah, I'd like to see more of Nick Fury do stuff.
So I would be more than happy to get a TV show, and I would probably definitely watch that one. I think I'm more excited for this one than any of the other ones they've announced.
No, see, I'm looking forward to the Loki one. I'm looking forward to Moon Knight. Moon Knight is one that I'm really looking forward to, because Moon Knight is a very obscure character, and it's basically a guy who praises the moon, and got schizophrenia. So he's got basically crazy, and he believes he follows the moon, and the moon is actually like a god who's telling him what to do. And he's basically dressed as Batman, but in white.
I'm pretty good, to be fair.
And the rumor is that it might be Shia LaBeouf to play him.
Ooh,
yeah,
that is interesting.
But I don't know how true that is. But I'd be very interested, and I really want to see it, because it's basically just a psychopath going around claiming that the moon's telling him what to do. And also he's got ties to Spider-Man and stuff, and Daredevil.
So Benedict Cumberbatch has just announced that the Multiverse of the Madness is about to start shooting soon.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
It's just gone into pre-production.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that, because with the WandaVision TV show, apparently that's meant to tie into Doctor Strange, because Elizabeth Olsen is meant to be in Doctor Strange too. So I'd be curious to see how those two tie into each other.
Yeah, odd. And also the WandaVision show, I'm still curious to how visions are there, or what is it? Is it in her mind or something?
It's not been revealed yet, but it's potentially, because she has the ability in the comics to change reality and things. So it's speculated that she's ripped a hole and gone to a different dimension where Vision is still alive, potentially. Or she's creating the illusion that he's still alive and she's going slowly insane. Or she's being controlled by someone else to do all of these things.
Very interesting idea.
Yeah, well, that's the benefit to Marvel and stuff. They've got this ability to just change genre, basically. Scrolls. Yeah. Scrolls is what they're called.
Scrolls, that's it.
God, that took me way too long to realize that I had missed the Google tab that went, Captain Marvel, what are these things? And then it was just scroll. And I was like, scroll down? Okay.
That's a funny one. So let's move on to the next big topic, which we're calling the big one. And spoiler alert, is Marvel themed again.
Yep. Sadly, it was too big a topic that I thought to put into the small news roundup. The big one is Jamie Foxx's Electro is potentially returning for Tom Holland's, not Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man 3, which has led a lot of people to speculate that they're going to do a live-action Spider-Verse, because from what we've seen, Morbius, which is the Jared Leto vampire movie, has Adrian Toomes, which is Michael Keaton's Vulture, in it, which is also tied into the potential for Venom, and Venom is potentially also tied into those universes, which means that either Sony and Marvel are going for the Sinister Six movie that Sony has desperately wanted to do for years, but has never been able to get off the ground because they mishandled it quite severely. But with the success of the Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, the animated one, that did really well and is really highly critically acclaimed and one of my favorite animated movies of all time, they're looking into maybe doing it with the live action versions. So we get Tobey Maguire back, we get Andrew Garfield back, we get Tom Holland, we get maybe even tie-ins to the animated versions, because at the end of Venom there's a tie-in end credit sequence where they played some of the parts of the Spider-Verse movie, and it's basically it begins with in another universe, so they even laid the groundwork for that in Venom, which is interesting.
Also, Jamie Foxx did release fan art of 3 Spider-Mans, which is very interesting. There's also been other rumours about it for a while. There's been rumours about Tom Holland and Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield all talking about potentially, and they've all said it's potentially possible.
Yeah, see, I really want Andrew Garfield back because I liked Andrew Garfield.
There's been a lot of teasers about it. What film was it at the end of the film? Was it the Morbius trailer?
Yeah, the Morbius trailer with Adrian Toomes, Michael Keaton's Vulture.
Yeah,
is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
I think it's quite likely, and I reckon it is.
Well, Sony's wanted to do a Sinister Six movie for ages, so I don't know if... Because Jamie Foxx said that his character design would be different from his Amazing Spider-Man one. So, but they have got precedent to just take characters from the other movies and just dump them into the Marvel one, because J. Jonah Jameson is in the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man films, but then they just put him at the end of Far From Home.
So did you say this Spider-Man film is actually part of the Andrew Garfield series?
Which one?
This new Spider-Man 3 film, the multiverse one.
No, it's Tom Holland.
It's Tom Holland's one.
Yeah, so it's Tom Holland's Spider-Man 3, which is rumored to have home in its title again. Stupidest naming convention ever. But yeah, it's not an Andrew Garfield's Amazing Spider-Man 3. It's Tom Holland's Spider-Man Electro from Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man 2 in Spider-Man 3.
What happened to Electro in Amazing Spider-Man 2?
I think he died.
I thought he died.
He gets exploded because he gets too much electricity, I think. It's been a while since I've seen that film.
And it's a terrible film.
I don't hate it. I think it's not great, but I don't hate that movie universe. I think Andrew Garfield's pretty much one of the best versions of Spider-Man that they've had. He just got done dirty in terms of a terrible sort of plot, because it revolves way too much around spy parents and a lot of bollocks with trains, and they put way too many villains in. And then they end on a clip from the trailer where it's just Rhino is basically battling Spider-Man, but then they just cut, and that's the end of the movie. And it's one of the things I hate the most, where they just show something in the trailer and that's the end of the movie.
Yeah, it's literally the most dumbest thing ever. It's like, oh yeah, so it's probably Sinister Six, but then nothing happens.
Also, the greatest thing in that movie is there's just a basement in Oscorp where they have all of the suits for all of the Sinister Six members.
Yeah,
like it's almost as bad as Justice League's PowerPoint presentation of all the superheroes and what order of their movies is going to be, which then sadly got changed because Justice League, Dawn of Justice.
I mean, Strange film as well.
What one?
The Doctor Strange film, Madness, Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah.
At the end of that film, they could show Tom Holland's Spider-Man going through a portal or something. I don't know what.
Well, yeah, we almost never got. That's the thing. We almost never got this film because the Sony-Disney partnership thing fell apart real quick, like last year, and then it was just a mad. Like after the success of the Far From Home making $1 billion, which is Sony's most successful movie, that Disney wanted a bigger cut of the film profit and stuff. So I sided with Sony on this because it's...
Yeah, I did too.
Because I don't think Disney should make more money from these things, because they did kind of help save Spider-Man a bit, but they also don't need more money.
Well, then Disney didn't make the film. Sony did.
No, Sony paid for everything.
Well, yeah, okay, but
Disney produced it, I'm pretty sure. I can't remember what the details of the deal that they had originally were. I know they've changed it now, so I think Disney gets like 5% more and has him for 2 more movies, Spider-Man 3 and then a potential Avengers movie. But then I think after that, unless Disney works with Sony again, Spider-Man just splits off and goes to Sony, and then Sony can play around with him in his own universe, essentially. So I'm guessing they're setting groundwork. I'm guessing the Disney and stuff are setting the groundwork so that they can sort of have a reason as to why Spider-Man's not in the universe anymore. He gets taken to the Andrew Garfield one or the Tobey Maguire one, or they just split off into a new universe where Tom Holland can't get back, and until Disney works out a deal with them again. But you wanted to say something?
I was going to say, potentially, if this film does work out well, they could almost bring back Andrew Garfield.
Yeah, that's what I want. They should 100% bring back Andrew Garfield. Because I'd say he's even a better Spider-Man than Tom Holland. Tom Holland's the best all-rounder, because I never really liked Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man. I thought he was a decent Peter Parker, because he was just nerdy and everyone hated him and he just got bullied like crap. But I didn't really like his Spider-Man.
Yeah, Andrew Garfield was a very good Spider-Man.
Andrew Garfield was a very good Spider-Man. Bit too cool to be Peter Parker. Bit too, like, hipster dude. But I don't hate it. I like it. I think his chemistry with Emma Watson was really, really good. And I like that storyline relationship. I thought Lizard was an alright first villain. I thought Harry Osborn was kind of bad. Like, it just didn't need to be in that film. Electro, his whole motivation is people don't remember who he is. It's kind of a weak thread line, and somehow falling into a vat of electric eels gives you super villain powers.
Yeah, it's a bit weird.
It's kind of a mess. I genuinely still believe Sony only hired the dude who made it is because his name has Webb at the end of it.
Pretty funny thing to do, isn't it?
I think it's Mark Webb who directed the Amazing Spider-Man movies.
How weird would it be if they had the live action one, but then it also had the cartoons in the live action one?
That's what I want, because At the end of the Spider-Man movie, spoilers, there's a end credit scene with a Spider-Man from the future in it, voiced by Oscar Isaac, and he goes back in time, and have you seen the meme where it's Spider-Man pointing at Spider-Man, and it's from like the 1960s or whatever it is, like there's a comic book panel, and it's just Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah, I know what I mean, yeah.
Yeah. It's basically he goes back to that scene, and it's just his character pointing at the other Spider-Man, just going, "Who are you? What are you doing?" And it's just that, and it's like a tease for the next movie where they bring all of the Spider-Man from the cartoon thing together. I'm curious to see what they do with Venom, because they've got to bring in Venom and everything, because at the end of Venom they have a in another universe, and then it cuts to a scene from Spider-Verse. So they have already laid the groundwork if they bring Venom into it to bring the cartoon characters into other realities, and they could just do a Roger Rabbit situation, or like a Sonic thing where you have like the cartoon characters just interacting with the real world, or you have a short segment where they travel to the animated world.
So yeah, I've had some key release dates for Marvel. So Black Widow is 20 May, Shang-Chi is July, Eternals is November.
Wait, is that America, or because I'm pretty sure Black Widow is April 7th.
It might be. It could very potentially be American.
Is May before April?
No, April's before May.
Yeah, then I think America would get it later. I'm not sure.
Yeah. But at the minute, it's off screen right now. So it says Black Widow is May, Shang-Chi is July, Eternals is November, Morbius is March, Venom is June, and then Spider-Man 3 is December.
I don't know.
I'm not sure what's happening to Star Wars films. There could be a Star Wars film coming out at that time.
They've delayed Star Wars because they delayed Avatar, and Avatar is going to be a year before Star Wars. So if they delay Avatar, they'll delay Star Wars.
So there's currently 6 Marvel films coming out next year. 3 from film is a Sony film. It's under.
I don't think Spider-Man's coming out next year, is it?
That's what it says right here. I don't know if truth or it is, but
I think you might have a out of date.
It could be.
Well,
this was 11 hours ago.
Oh, okay. Well, I remember. I don't know, because I've seen Black Widow's release date of 2021, so April.
2021.
Yeah, April.
Well, they might just push it back another month because of James Bond coming out the same week.
Wikipedia Phase 4, let's have a look. Black Widow is, May 7th, 2021. Shang-Chi is July 9th. Eternals is November 5th. Untitled Spider-Man Far From Home, yeah, you're right, December 17th, 2021. Thor Love and Thunder is February 11th, and Doctor Strange is March 25th, 2022. Those are the ones that have been announced. Well, they're the ones that are like currently close.
They're the ones that are confirmed until Kubrick moves them.
Because the problem with Marvel is if you move back one, you basically have to move back everything. Falcon and the Winter Soldier, their TV series, was meant to release this year in October. Had to basically be pushed back due to corona stuff, and is now suspected to come out into March 2020. And Loki is meant to come out in 2021. Their animated What If series is also going to come out in 2021. Hawkeye is meant to come out in 2022. Miss Marvel is set for 2022. Moon Knight is set for 2022. And She-Hulk is set for 2022. And that all can move because of delays in production schedules and everything. It's an interesting time to be a Marvel fan, because it's now the longest time between Marvel movies since 2009, since a Marvel movie has released, and that's just going to get longer and longer. But I think that's a good thing, because it's going to kind of give people a revigoration of like energy to go see more superhero movies.
Yeah, because I feel like after Far From Home that it feels like that period has ended. Marvel films.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to be as big of.
No, I feel like it's going to ramp up again. So it's going to start off like how Iron Man was.
Yeah.
And Thor and the original. It's going to start like that again. It's going to slowly rise up. If you look through the list, I mean, Black Widow isn't really a origin story or a sequel. It's just a story.
It's in between Civil War and Infinity War, I think, from what I've heard.
I'm not classing Black Widow as a sequel, because it's not really. It's not a sequel to the original film. It's just a separate story away from everything else.
No, but they're sort of setting up to have potentially a new Black Widow come into the universe. In the sister from the trailers, played by Florence Pugh, I think her name.
But I feel like you could jump in at that point. You don't have to know anything about Black Widow beforehand.
No, I mean, if you've seen any of the other movies, you know who. It's the Eternals and Shang-Chi that are going to be the harder sells, because although they've got star casts, the Eternals is pretty. It's kind of like a Guardians of the Galaxy situation where they don't have the biggest comic book following, and to the general audience, they're just going to be kind of whatever. And if the movie movie's not good, then it's just going to kind of go by the wayside, I think. Like, the potential of what the Guardians of the Galaxy could have been if the Guardians of the Galaxy wasn't a good movie.
I feel like a Marvel Cinematic Universe are very good at doing introductory stories to these random superheroes that no one's ever heard of before.
Yeah.
Like, before 2008, no one knew who Iron Man was. No one knew who Captain America was. No one knew who Thor was.
Well, people knew who they were, but they were C-list. Marvel brought them into the A-list.
Yeah, they're very good at it. I think Guardians of the Galaxy, I didn't even hear of Guardians of the Galaxy before. I've never seen anything about it.
I'd heard of them, but I don't read comics, but I'd heard of them before. Like Guardians, they were very, very small. They were like D-list or E-list superheroes, comic book wise, but Marvel sort of brought them up to the forefront, and now they're selling out pretty good comic book wise and stuff like that. I think they're going to have a hard sell on Shang-Chi and the Eternals because they're not known properties. Like Black Panther 2, as sad as it's going to be that they might not do it, would have brought in a lot of money. Captain Marvel 2 will bring in a lot of money. 4 will bring in a lot of money. Doctor Strange will bring in a lot of money. All of these like big movies that they have, they've got to now kind of be behind 2 films that people may not go see, which is an interesting thing. Because there's been this lull in time, Black Widow has now got to bring everyone back to get everyone sort of hyped again to go see a Marvel movie. And that's a lot of pressure on one movie that is also their biggest female character, as much as Captain Marvel would like to claim it is. It's Black Widow is there from the start, basically, since Iron Man 2, and has been there and has been so shittily pissed on by Marvel for not giving her a movie before Captain Marvel, which I find annoying. They kind of wanted to parade Captain Marvel as their first female superhero as a standalone, and I'm just kind of like, but you had Black Widow.
Yes, that's not really though, is it? Let's be honest.
What?
No, it's not really the first superhero, is it? First female one.
No, I know, but it's in terms of getting a solo movie from the Marvel Cinematic Universe, they went Captain Marvel when they could have gone Black Widow and given Black Widow a movie like all the others, like Thor, Captain America.
They should have done that.
Yeah, I think at the time...
If they did that, there'd been a lot less hate for it.
No, it was. I think it was a complicated thing, because at the time of when Marvel was owned, they had the person who made all of the decisions was kind of a sexist. Not Kevin Feige.
Brilliant.
Not Kevin Feige, but the reason why you didn't get Black Widow toys and stuff is because he said that they wouldn't sell, and he was in charge of merchandising and stuff like that, and he didn't want a Black Widow film because women don't sell movies and all of that stuff. But Kevin Feige basically sidestepped him and went straight to Disney to get a pre-approval so that he could do most of the decision making after like the success of what he did. So that's why you get like a Captain Marvel and you get a Black Widow now. In the past you couldn't get one, so I understand why we didn't get one, but I'm kind of like, well, now you can make them. I'm a bit annoyed that also that the positioning of Black Widow is kind of a weird one, because if they put Black Widow between Infinity War and Endgame, you would have probably cared a bit more if she died.
Yeah,
because now you're just coming back and she's got a movie, so you're like, oh well, it doesn't matter, it's all whoop-de-doo. And I know it's set between Civil War and Infinity War, but it's kind of like, well, there's no stakes. We know she lives to Infinity War and then she dies in Endgame, so there's no real stakes basically in this movie, so it's got to pull a lot of weight to be good, and it looks good. I am worried about it. It's kind of a dirty thing to do to her if you parade her as this symbol of feminism and then just have it be a middling movie where she dies in the next 2 if you put it in order. Also, I keep forgetting that Sam Raimi is set to direct Doctor Strange, which is a really good choice and leads more credit to having Tobey Maguire come back as Spider-Man for a Spider-Verse movie, because Sam Raimi did the Tobey Maguire ones, and I'm sure
Spider-Man's appearing in that film. Tobey Maguire's appearing in that film.
Probably. If they did it, they could definitely have a teaser for the Far From Home sequel in the December lineup, and then in March you'd get to see the full thing play out, I guess. Shall we move on to the next topic? Weird, wacky, wonderful world segment.
Yeah, so this segment,
where we discuss about some of the weirdest stuff that we've seen online. Could be from the past, could be from the current day. But what do you have, Dan?
So, I've got 2 topics. And the very first one is police have seized more than 320,000 used condoms in Vietnam. So they've been sold illegally, and they've been using wooden dildos to reshape and wash the old condoms. And a woman received 13p for every kilogram of condoms she donated.
That's gross.
Really, really bad.
What were they? Were they just selling them as non-used condoms then?
Yeah, selling them as new.
Yeah.
It's just really grim. What topic have you got?
I have Mountain Dew, the Dew-garita, which is a collaboration between Mountain Dew and Red Lobster in America to make a margarita, but with Mountain Dew. And it's called the Dewgarita. And it looks as disgusting as it sounds. It's a alcoholic Mountain Dew drink that PepsiCo and Red Lobster, I'm guessing a seafood restaurant in America, have decided to collaborate and make a margarita that's got Mountain Dew in it. And it's got the grossest looking thing in the world. But yeah, that's what I've got.
I've also got another topic. Nixon's sandwich for 60 years.
A what?
A man has kept Richard Nixon's sandwich for 60 years.
Good for him. I mean, why not?
Richard Nixon ate half a sandwich, and the man looked around and thought, if no one else is going to take it, I'll take it home.
Does he have the security footage, though, to prove that he is actually taken...
Probably not, but it's kind of a mad thing to say anyway.
Yeah, but people are crazy, Dan. Does he have Richard Nixon's DNA? Is it Richard Nixon? It was Richard Nixon, right?
Yeah,
Richard Nixon's DNA on that sandwich to prove that it was Richard Nixon.
I mean, potentially, you could swab it.
Also, is Richard Nixon the one who got shot in the head?
No, that was JFK.
Oh. What did Richard Nixon do? Was he the one who got impeached?
Yeah.
Was this before his impeachment?
Yes, as referred to. Yeah, he wasn't a very dodgy man.
My other one is Vin Diesel of Marvel Groot fame has released a single.
What?
And it's called Feel Like I Do. And it's kind of bad.
I'm not surprised.
But yeah, it debuted on the Kelly Clarkson show. And the video it goes along with is basically the audience for Kelly Clarkson's show is basically on TVs that are standing up diagonal, like straight up, and it's just a bunch of audience members on TVs dancing to Vin Diesel's music. I mean, it's not the worst song in the world, but you wouldn't take Vin Diesel as a singer. Sadly, you can kind of see why he's not a singer in this, but it's not the worst song in the world. But yeah, the video of him on the show is just basically a bunch of older people sort of awkwardly dancing on TV screens, and it's just kind of a weird thing to watch.
I mean, it sounds weird.
Yeah, I recommend people go and watch it, because
I'll go watch after this.
But it's also the fact that he introduces it because there's a short video clip before people start dancing of him introducing it and being proud of it. But it looks like he's just finished it because he's standing next to his microphone where he probably recorded it, and he's just doing all this, he's got headphones on, and he's just kind of standing there just talking about it as if he's pretty much just finished recording the song, which just seems even weirder to do in the first place because he's not it's just weird. But that's it. That's all I had for this. We'll round it up.
Wow, that was an interesting one.
Shall we go?
Let's move on to the final section of the recent activity roundup.
What have you been up to?
So, following last week, you told me to watch The Boys, and I have now seen The Boys Season 1.
Good. What do you think?
I think it's a very good show. Very interesting. And I think there's a lot of good topics in that film. Especially to do with TV show.
Yeah. There's a film we'll be talking about later. But
yeah, there's a lot of good topics about it, about sort of rapism and sexual assault on women.
Yeah.
I think that's very good.
You think sexual assault?
No, I mean, I think it's good they're talking about it.
Uh-huh.
And they highlight it.
Well, you need to definitely watch Season 2 by next week.
So TV show.
We need to definitely...
Oh, yeah, I would do. Because I would have watched it today, but I was busy doing something else.
Yeah, it's definitely worth.
Yeah, I think, to me, it's on about the same level as Umbrella Academy.
I haven't watched it.
I know you haven't seen it.
Yeah.
But it's very similar sort of theme behind it. It's a bit gory, a bit weird, a bit strange. And then you've also kind of got a similar kind of music tracks that go with it.
Yeah.
I think it's a very good TV show put together.
I definitely would recommend it to people.
It's very good. Definitely 18 plus.
Season 2, you'll definitely need that 18 plus rating.
Oh my goodness me. What have I let this up into?
But yeah, the other thing that I watched, and I know you watched because I made you watch it, is Enola Holmes. The female Sherlock Holmes movie. What did you think of it, Dan?
Bit random. It's a bit weird. I didn't know Enola Holmes was a character ever.
Well, she's not a character from Sherlock Holmes' writer. Arthur Conan Doyle, is that who wrote Sherlock Holmes?
Sounds familiar.
Double check that. But yeah, I think it's made the Enola Holmes is a different writer, and also this film got sued by the estate of I think Sir Arthur Conan Doyle.
I'm not surprised
because they sue everyone because it's Sir Arthur Conan Doyle didn't have kids, so it's just basically relatives of his estate, basically. So it's just every time that they run out of money, they sue someone who does anything, because Sherlock Holmes is, I think, public property at this point. I'm pretty sure. I can't remember off the top of my head. So I think every time they need money, they sue the people making anything about it so that they can get money, is what I heard.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't hate this movie. I thought this movie kind of had a mixed message in terms of female empowerment, because whilst she is very good at what she does, they still fall into the stupid trap of having a romantic subplot that doesn't need to be there with that other kid.
I was not worried about that, but at the end of it, they kind of did step away from that.
Yeah, that's why I didn't think it was relevant to begin with. I think if they'd made it like not a would they, won't they sort of thing, it would have been better. It should have just been that from the beginning, but they still had to do the whole, I'll go back and save him because of reasons that they don't actually give, but it's because she sort of likes him because he's pretty, and he does the whole, I won't leave you, go. It's like,
Well, in the film, they explained it. The reason why she went back was to do with the goat. She saved the goat because it was fragile and needed help.
Yeah. I get why they did it, but they also did it because it's a boy.
Yeah. However, on devil's advocate of that,
yes, go on.
A lot of because that's how it was back in those days, and that's cool.
I know the setting and everything.
So I feel like to have that kind of love interest is also sort of needed to emphasize that, because I think Mycroft near the end said, "Oh, she should marry him."
Yeah.
Whereas she doesn't want it. She says she wants to be her own person, do her own thing, be a detective.
Yeah, I like that bit. I just thought the whole middling bit in the middle where it was just will they, won't they? Where
I'd agree. That was a bit that annoyed me.
Yeah, I think if they just didn't have that middling bit and she just knew she didn't want to be with him, but she did it out of duty to save it, like the goat thing, that would have been clearer. But it's the fact that they tried to do both, where they tried to do will they, won't they, but she does it because it's not because he's a boy, but because he's a goat, and they try and save the goat. But I thought it was alright. It's a Netflix movie, and Netflix movies are pretty just average on general.
I think it was a very good film put together. The North storyline, you mean like just the film itself, like the graphics and
yeah, I like the
way they're doing everything.
I liked Helena Bonham Carter as the mum. She's good.
Yeah.
I thought Henry Cavill did alright for the minimum amount of effort he had to put into that film.
He literally does nothing.
Yeah, I thought if they do a sequel, it'd be nice to see them team up.
I was kind of hoping for that.
Yeah, I was hoping for that, but I guess they don't want to have her under the shadow of Sherlock Holmes. They need to make... That's the only thing.
Because the whole point of that film is like female empowerment.
Yeah.
Because it's set during the time of the Reformation, Bill? Reformation, what?
Whatever the suffragettes thing is, where they...
Yeah,
that era. I can't remember it off the top of my head, but I thought it was a good film.
I what the setting was of the film, like time frame, but I wondered if they were going to bring up the time when that woman threw herself in front of a horse. I don't remember her name. I'm sorry. Don't hate me.
I don't remember that, to be honest. But yeah, I thought all in all, it's a pretty good film. I'd say people should watch it. I thought the fourth wall breaking at the beginning was jarring. I slowly got into it more and more, but it still was a weird choice to me, at least, to do. But I guess it helps sort of explain some of the things that are going on. But I kind of found it annoying at some points where it was just like, my name is Enola Holmes. Enola Holmes backwards is alone.
Yeah, that bit's kind of weird.
Yeah, I'm just like, I don't care, love. It's just...
The bit I sort of liked was like, when it was explaining sort of
I like the
plan.
puzzle stuff. Yeah, I like the puzzle thing or the plan where it's like at stage 4 or 5, or I give up and it's like just flicks through. I liked all of that stuff. It was just kind of it worked and it didn't work. I thought it was just an all right rounder. I'd like to see a sequel, see where they go with it, but if they don't, I'd be fine. Is my review. I think it works.
It feels like a complete story. It doesn't feel like it needs a sequel.
Yeah, it doesn't need one, but if they did one, I'd probably go see it.
I felt like if they did one, they would have to do the team up between Sherlock and Enola Holmes.
Yeah. Well, he's now her ward, so...
Yeah, that's what they could do.
She rejected it, technically.
She's just hidden.
What was up with that rat pine cone thing? That was...
Oh, I think it was just saying that it was pretend to be a dog as a child.
Yeah.
Took it everywhere.
That was a strange thing. But yeah, I think that's a good place to leave it for today.
Yeah, so for the next following week, I'm going to watch The Boys Season 2.
I will probably try and watch
Next week.
The Devil in Time, starring Tom Holland and Foxx his name from Twilight, Robert Pattinson. Robert Pattinson. Why did I say Rupert?
Don't know.
Yeah, he's all right because I saw him in Tenet, and he's decent in Tenet. So I need to watch him in other stuff because apparently from Twilight he basically 180'd his career and basically did a lot of indie stuff where he's actually good. So
I make good films.
Yeah, I need to watch some of them. So I'm gonna start by watching The Devil in Time because it looks interesting and it's like a religious cult sort of stuff. But yeah, that's what I'm gonna try and watch by next week. If you want to follow us, hit the like button, subscribe, leave a comment, leave a review, sacrifice a goat, all of those things. Follow us. Don't follow us in real life, but follow us on this. And we'll see you next week. Dan, do you want to say anything before we go?
Thank you for listening. Peace. If you made it this far.
I'm surprised, but it's a welcome one. Peace out, y'all.
Bye-bye.